Good morning. Sunday morning, getting ready to head into the lab today. And there's a lot of people who ask me, why are you doing this? So I'm gonna tell a story here while I'm getting ready for work. So backing up probably like 20 some years ago ish, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and this really caused me to take a deep dive into the human body and how it works and how to optimize health and all of these types of things. So over time, I've dug into every diet, every paleo, autoimmune paleo, low carb, counting calories, Weight Watchers. Like I've tried absolutely everything. And I learn more and more and more and more and more as I go. And the more I tried and it worked, and then I would gain it back and I'd try and it work and I gain it back. And I did all these different things. I really gained a vested interest in how the human body works and how you can optimize it using any type of health and wealth tools, right? So I remember sitting one day, gosh, I don't know, probably 5 years ago or so, going, man, wouldn't it be awesome to have a job where you could help people feel amazing and you could kind of make money on the side doing the same thing? Because I'm going to be honest, who doesn't love money, right? We like to travel, we like nice things, and this economy sucks. So as time went on and I was learning more and more about what I was doing, I kind of kept that in the back burner. So my full-time job is working as a medical laboratory scientist. I teach medical laboratory science full-time. I have to prove occupational currency, so I pick up laboratory shifts on the weekends occasionally, which is where I'm heading today. And so that is a career that I love, and I always have loved. And the reason I am so grateful for this is I teach biochemistry type courses, and oh, I gotta grab my mojo here. And that has taught me so much about how the human body works and how the body cannot work in occasions as well too. So I'm so blessed for that. And I love my career. I love my jobs in medical laboratory science. That's not something I ever wanted to give up. But I always had that in the back of my head, like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you could do something in terms of helping people feel absolutely amazing? All right, so here we are in June of 2023. I'm in my doctor's office. I see an integrative medicine provider in the area. She's absolutely amazing. And she asked me if I was using collagen because I was complaining of some hair loss and I was complaining of joint pain and some other things like that. And she asked me if I was using collagen, and I said, I do have that blue jug from Costco, and I wasn't getting any results from it. She goes, no, I want you to use this collagen. It's called Trinot Glow Liquid Collagen. Like legit, you guys, she sells this in her office. I've shared pictures of her office with the containers and stuff there. And she goes, I want you to use this collagen because it's going to make a difference. And it really did. And my hair started growing back. I thought this stuff was great. So 2 months after that, my friend Carissa reaches out to me and she says, hey, Becky, I've partnered with this company in the health and wellness space. I think you should take a look at it. I said, no way. Um, Carissa is somebody who I know is very successful in network marketing. I know what it takes to be in network marketing. And I didn't think I had the time because I had been burnt out in the past doing home parties and things like that. I loved it. I loved helping people make freezer meals and stuff. If you remember me from back in the day, I did a lot of wild tree. We did organic food freezer meals and stuff. I loved it, but it burnt me out. Totally burnt me out. So I was like, nope, there's no way I'm doing that again. I don't have time. I work full time. I've got part-time job working as well. I've got a family. I've got 3 kids, all the things. Super busy. And she goes, oh, well, I'm going to send it to you anyways. It's Carissa Perizzo. And I'm like, okay, fine, because I love her, right? So she asked me if I could hop on a Zoom one night. And it was a Friday. I remember this was like 5 o'clock at night. My family was gone. I think people were at practices. Chad was working late. I don't remember the whole spiel. But I hopped on and Carissa brought me on this Zoom and this woman popped on. Her name is Sonara Brown. And Sonara Brown is somebody who I've been Facebook friends with for many years. She makes 7 figures, multiple million-dollar earner in the industry. And she was the very top of Wild Tree when I was there. And I was like, wow, Sonara Brown is on this Zoom right now. I knew Sonara had left the party model industry to go to a health and wellness company, but it didn't click in my mind that it was the same one until this moment. So she brings on this woman who is the most successful woman I have ever met in my life. At this point, Sarah didn't know who it was. And I was like, oh my God, there is a millionaire on this Zoom with me right now. So of course, naturally, I'm asking her product questions. I knew about the collagen, but I was asking about some other things. And she goes, can we put a pin in that for just a second? If you know Sonara, she says that. Let's just put a pin in that. You're going to make a shit ton of money on this company. You already know the science behind this stuff works. This is the most amazing product line and scientific advisory board I've ever seen. This is going to make you a shit ton of money. I was like, okay, so you have a millionaire who left a party model industry to come to this company, ground floor, gave up everything. She was already making millions in another company to come to this company. So I'm like, okay, I'm all ears. I was just about, I couldn't believe it that she was telling me this. So I listened, and I thought, holy cats. When I got off of this, I'm like, if this woman left a company to start ground floor at a different company, she knew something. She knew something was amazing about this company, and she was not wrong. I jumped in and I started rank advancing before I even got my enrollment bundle in the mail. So this was 2.5 years ago. Yeah, this was what? August of 2023. Oh, I forgot to put my ball in my shaker cup. I drink this later. It's my metabolic mocktail. Um, oh shoot, my little rubber thing fell out. So that was 2.5 years ago. So I have been consistent plugging into systems that are already in place. Okay, like there is, am I putting this in there right? We'll find out, right? If it leaks. Systems that are in place following what this woman told me to do. Because you figure, right? If you do what somebody else is doing, maybe you'll get what they have, right? Doesn't that make sense? Like if you want the amount of money somebody else has, do what they're doing to earn that money. I mean, that's not rocket science. So I followed everything that she did, everything she told me to do, step by step by step, listened to all of her videos, kept doing all of the things. And I kept going for a year and a half, spending about an hour and 15 minutes a day on what's called the daily method of operation. And I am legit consistent with it. I don't care if I'm in Mexico. I don't care if I'm on the beach. If it's a Saturday morning, I'm up, I'm spending my half hour, 45 minutes up to an hour doing my list of activities. This has gotten us to a point where my family combined, me, Chad, my mom, Emma, Justin's newer, we're making like just over the brink of 5 figures a month. I am so grateful that I jumped on that Zoom 2.5 years ago. Now, I know people say, Becky, you're crazy. Why would you do that? Would you think spending an hour a day in the crux of your day would be worth making an extra 5 figures a month? I don't know. I think so. But there's a lot of people that are like, nope, not doing that. No, I just thought I would tell my story. I get to do what I love. I get to help people lose weight. I get to help them gain more energy and vitality, and I get to bring more money into my family. We get to travel, a discounted travel. I've got a free car in my garage, and we get to go on free incentive trips each year. I don't know. That's my story. So that is why I am so incredibly excited and grateful for what it is that we have and what it is that we get to do and what this has brought to my life. So we do have free enrollment right now. I've brought in about 3 people this week, looking at about 4 more on my team to show them what I do. It's not for everybody, but it's for anybody, seriously. So anywho, I just want to get on, share my story this morning as to why I'm here. I work full time. I'm super freaking busy. I've got 3 kids all living at home. This is something that I can do in the crux of my day. And it is the most rewarding thing I've ever done. All right, heading out to the lab today. Have a great Sunday, everybody. Enjoy the Super Bowl.